I would kind of relay back kind of what's happening with the project, what I was comfortable with, if there were anything that I wasn't comfortable with. And yeah, it was really good contact. It was quite laid back. There was no kind of formal meetings that I had to attend, but if there was anything I needed from the project partners guys, I could always drop a note to them and catch up with them when needed.
So project partners actually had quite a challenge in the client site I was on. We started from quite a small team and we became a very large team. And with that comes lots of complexity as different people join, and you try to support people through different things. So there was turbulence in the client site, which project partners were very supportive with. They came up, they were present a lot, they supported me. There was some difficult conversations. They helped me to get through those. I always really felt that they were very reasonable, not taking my side or the client's side, but being very balanced in how they tried to help to resolve the issue.
My interaction with project partners was exemplary. I was contacted by project partners, and within 2 weeks, I would say I was placed on a very big strategic project. The onboarding experience with project partners was seamless. I couldn't have asked for anything more if I'm being honest.
My experience, I would say I was very well prepared before the placement to understand the client and also what the initial ask was from the client. So I would say in general, my experience was very exceptional, from the hiring manager to onboarding, and also my placement with the client, especially around understanding of what the project objectives was about. So I'd say my experience was really, really good.
But at project partners, you're dealing with folks who've done a huge range of deliveries with loads of different clients, industries, different types of projects. So that means that there's a good chance that if I want a quick chat or a second opinion on something, somebody at project partners has probably already come across it, has already experienced it.
One of the things, though, I was really impressed about is I had a team and took control of them through COVID times, and that was difficult. I'd never met the team personally, or I didn't till much further into my contract. And I was worried about some members of the teams who were, living by themselves, and it was difficult. They weren't seeing very many people. And there were some well-being issues that I wanted addressed. And I was really impressed with how project partners helped with that. That meant a lot to me. I like to think the teams are happy and they spend a lot of time at work.
Okay, so during my time on the project, which was over 2 years, by the way, which was a long time, so as you can imagine, there were enough times for things to possibly go wrong, but nothing went wrong at any point in time. The way I was supported was I had points of contact, so not just one individual. I had 3 or 4 individuals that I could contact at any point in time whenever I had any issue. And that was through emails, through phone calls as well. And during my interactions with these individuals, there was always a swift resolution.
Project Partners has a very friendly and transparent culture that is both appreciative and realistic. The communication is clear and focused. They encourage project partner consultants like myself to share information with other colleagues and assist where possible.
So I interviewed through project partners for a job that I actually didn't get, but they did say they were impressed at the interview, and that they would keep me in mind. So lots of people say that, but not many people do it. So I was surprised and delighted about 2 months later when they came back with another offer. And from the outset, I felt very confident in Mark. I thought he was just a decent person, and he was very on the level about what he wanted. He was very honest about the client site, because there was a difficult situation going on there, and he knew I would have to face some difficulty when I joined. So I just felt, I knew exactly what I was going in, to face, but also that I could do a good job. It was things I had done before, very similar.
I definitely would. I would recommend project partners for a number of reasons, and I think I've pretty much covered it in my previous answers. I think the fact that they were able to land me a very exciting role was good. a role that started off as a 1-year role that got extended for another year, so ended up being 2 years. That was very good on project partner side. Obviously, it was testament to the fact that I was doing a good job, but project partners were able to make sure they guided me and provided me with the support that I needed over the 2 years.
Project partners were very good about keeping me informed, keeping me in touch about contract, getting paperwork signed, etc. That all went through very smoothly. And I was very much just responding to them, pushing it all forward. So that was good. I wasn't having to chase in anything there.
I think the transition from project to project has been great. So I've had a number of different clients whilst being at Project Partners, and that kind of transition from being on the bench, so to speak, has been good. There was always things going on internally that I could help out with, which was fun as well.
Project partners always pay on time. So I think that goes without saying. You want to work with an agency where you're able to make sure the work that you're putting in gets recognized on time, in a timely manner. During the 2 years that I worked with Project Partners, I didn't have an issue once when it came to payments. I've already spoken about the whole transparency piece. I can't overstate that point, because I think that's quite key. Being able to get one-on-one support, and also having more people to support me if and when required, was quite refreshing as well to see. So I feel like overall I was shielded, I was guided. I had people that can ask any question at any point in time, and there was always someone there to provide me with answers.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend Project Partners. It's a really great kind of culture that they've got. The ABCDE way has been really helpful to work on projects as well, to implement and as part of the kind of projects that I've been working on. So yeah, I would definitely recommend working with them, and yeah, they're great to work with also.
Overall, I found the entire process really, really good, really smooth. And if I did want to ask any questions, not that I recall any problems particularly, but if I did want to ask any questions, they were usually responded to literally within 30 minutes. So it was very smooth. Everything from all of your IR35 assessment, making sure you're ready to talk to clients, contracts, e-documents, timesheet, all that sort of stuff was really, really smooth. And yeah, really, really good. All positive.
I would say transparency, because I think that's quite key when you're working with an agency. I think transparency is key. And what I mean about that is being able to communicate to the individual, myself, as to how things are going from the client side, what they think. Because sometimes agencies place you on a project, but you're not really sure what the feedback is from the client side. Project Partners made sure they kept me in the loop of what the client was saying, and also from my side, if there were going to be possible changes, possible extensions. So that transparency was quite key.
I think the way that Project Partners helped me there was I was able to talk through the options in a safe space before I shared my ideas with the client. And that kind of rehearsing the options with them first, because Project Partners have obviously done hundreds of other projects, and rehearsing with them first just helped really kind of think, okay, I've got this to do. How about this way? How about that way? So yeah, supported me completely, definitely. The answer is yes, I would recommend them. So partly because of the support that I just mentioned, also the network, the access to skill sets, and also the access to the variety of clients. So for example, in my situation, I've worked a lot in financial services, and that means that with recruitment agencies, they'll often pigeonhole you into only working in financial services. But at Project Partners, I've had the chance to work in retail, in pharmaceutical, and in financial services. And I think when you're dealing with a lot of recruitment agencies, they can only put you in industries that you've worked in before. Whereas at Project Partners, they work with all sorts of people with all sorts of needs. They package up deliveries, and they're the ones responsible for getting the right people to build whatever it is the client needs.
I think delivering projects, kind of at the end, celebrating the projects with the Project Partners guys as well as the client. The clients, that I've worked with have kind of had that relationship with Project Partners, not just with me as the person working on the project. So yeah, celebrating the successes has been great, and kind of having that support throughout from Project Partners has been really helpful.
Yes, certainly. So my initial contact was via Hydrogen. So I had seen a role that Hydrogen had advertised, and I got in touch, and I had an initial chat with them, and they, did that maybe first level of screening, and then put me directly in touch with project partners for a more in-depth interview. So that was very nice. So both colleagues from both sides, both Hydrogen and project partners, were very friendly and approachable, and we talked sort of in depth about my experience and about the role that had been advertised. They put me forward for the role initially, and actually for that first role I didn't get the job, but they kept in touch with me after that, every sort of quite regularly, about seeing if I was still looking for work. And then the next time I became available, I was looking for work again. I applied for another role through project partners and got that role. So sort of very quickly. So that was great that they kept in touch. You don't often find that with people, that they sort of keep in touch. They'll say, yes, I'll keep you in mind if anything else comes up, and then they don't actually do it. So it's very nice that they actually did do that. So quite quickly, with the support of Hydrogen, we went through the onboarding process, and it was really a matter of weeks later that I was on site then at client site. And I joined a team of other project partners, colleagues, very much a mixed team with client and project partners. So it was hard to, you wouldn't really tell from the outside who was which, but that's always nice.
So I think what made project partners special for me, and why I would always want to work with them if they had work, is they were much closer to the clients than other agencies or consultancies. They were much more interested in both parties. They were more interested in me and my team, and they were actually more interested in the client. And I think both parties responded really well to that, because I think sometimes you get an initial interest and flurry of interest and a lot of maybe love bombing to begin with, and then there's a complete vacancy of anybody being interested after that. But they were very persistent and tenacious, and from the first day.
I think from other agencies, certainly you were made to feel more included. Now, I've worked for another couple of agencies as an independent contractor in financial services, and certainly I haven't been as well included with them as I have with project partners. Project partners are very much seeing you as one of their resources, and they're working with you and the client to make sure that both sides get the best out of the arrangement. So I'd say that's a difference from other agencies. You would very much be in your role and then forgotten about until a renewal was coming up. So certainly project partners did want to foster this.
Three things stand out for me here. I think the first thing was in terms of commitment to both client and consultant. Project partner has a very, very good understanding, and they share very good commitment to both the client and the consultant. Project partner would build, they have a very strong relationship building with the client and also with the consultant, and also the talent resource team. They did a very great job as well in terms of finding the right client or the right consultant and placing the right, talent with the client.
Trying to find somebody who's an expert in that. I couldn't find the answer on site, but I could bring that back to project partners to ask for a bit of advice if somebody had come across that particular technology before. So that's a very good thing to have. And again, that sort of reason is why you'd recommend project partners, because you know that you're not going to be there alone. You've got other people you can reach out to. And that's very nice. So I think it's been the connections that have been made, certainly from the very outset when project partners were still in touch with me, even though I wasn't working for them then, to say, when are you free? Are you looking for a role?
The onboarding process was quick and efficient. It was over 4 years ago, so I don't remember a lot more than that. But if I do remember an onboarding process, it's probably because it's is problematic. So if I don't remember one, it must be very quick. I always found the staff helpful, and the regular updates very informative. I also found Maxine was a pleasure to work with and clearly contributed to the positive culture of project partners.